Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to the Chat Trap Show by Vikram Singh Raval, only on Dillistan. As usual, every हफ्ते हम आते हैं आपके पास बहुत सारे exciting guests लेके and इस हफ्ते हम फिर से आए हैं 7 p.m. live with all of you. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be very exciting. As usual, I'm excited, and I hope all of you are excited as well. So we've come up with another very exciting guest. उनका नाम है Siddharth, and he's an amazing gamer. He's a content creator, and there's a lot more to know about him. He's also the founder at Flip Switch, and there is a lot to know about him. And मैं चाहूंगा कि हम उनको welcome करें आज. और as usual मैं एक चीज बोलूंगा कि before starting, please subscribe to our channel, to our YouTube channel, and if you're watching on Facebook, please do share the video and like the video. सब्सक्राइब करें प्लीज यूट्यूब को एंड हम चाहेंगे कि ऐसी बहुत अमेजिंग वीडियोस आपके लिए लेके आते रहें सो लेट्स जॉइन सिद्धार्थ एंड वेलकम हिम ऑन द शो हाय सिद्धार्थ हाउ आर यू
I'm very well, man. How are you?
I'm great so Mr. Siddharth Patel is here on the show and we welcome him. Thank you, Siddharth, for taking out time from such a hectic schedule.
I mean, it's. I mean, I can't even. I can't put it in words right now. But COVID has given us gamers such a responsibility at the same time that we have to keep everybody inside and then do stuff.
Oh
But
yes.
it was an insane stint. But now that everybody is going out, and I'm so glad to be here. By the way, thank you so much for having me here.
It's a
I was
pleasure.
following. I was following all your live streams, everything right from Rijul's session to Bubul's sessions. I believe a bunch of other sessions, I guess, where I could get a lot of information. And these are the live streams that I was looking for. This is the kind of content I was always looking for when it comes to alternate source of entertainment and content. Otherwise, as well, you don't get to see all that. So nice ideas, guys. Like,
Thank you so
kudos to
much.
the
It's a
entire team.
wonderful feedback. I think this is what gives us a lot of energy, a lot of you know efforts to put it back in because that's what we expect. We love people who appreciate us and give us more strength. And I think this is what pushes us to make more content. And these kind of interviews, these kind of great sessions we've been coming up with is something which comes up with a lot of hard work. Definitely there's a lot of planning at
Absolutely.
the back end, there's a lot of things to do. And then coming back to you, same goes for you. You have been creating such good content on for gamers, and you've been live streaming and you've been doing so many things. I think we would like to start from the beginning, Siddharth. How how has Siddharth Patel evolved? What had really happened? Where were you? What was your passion and how did this come up, if you
a
can know
lot of
about you?
things a lot of things happen together. A lot of people think that it's just a spark or it's just a momentary thing, but and it happens to be momentary for a lot of people. But ever since the beginning, I had a passion for gaming. Ever since, like, right from Tetris, if I would say. Everybody asks, you started with Mario, you started with Contra, you started with all those classic Nintendo games. You must have played Nintendo games as well. um I started with Tetris back in the day. I mean, I used to find that very competitive, बहुत
Okay.
competitive होता था उस time पे. And I mean, सारे बैठे रहते थे, सारे कैसे इसमें कौन सा चीज कहाँ पे, कौन सा block कहाँ पे, कौन सा piece कहाँ पे fit होगा. And
Right.
we used to time it out like that. So that used to be very competitive. Everybody used to sit around, बैठे हुए, chips, Coca Cola, सब कुछ चल रहा है. And
Mm-hmm.
and
Hmm.
from there it started. Then it was right at the parallel. I was also doing my other fun things that I wanted to do: dance, music, and dance was
Oh,
also there. But dance was not. I mean, he used to be like only on the parties, on
okay.
occasions. But music was something that took the stage right after.
Right.
So as soon as I finished my schooling, I started playing in in a resident. I mean, in a club where I was not allowed to drink, but I was allowed to play music. So that was that was that. I took that stage as a DJ, as a resident DJ, and then I started.
Okay.
I started playing music. I wanted to evolve from being just a DJ, so I started doing live radio shows, just like you started here. So I started doing
Okay.
live radio shows back in 2010. 2010, 11ish, if I'm not wrong. I used to host a
Oh,
radio show on the internet called Digital Gathering.
okay.
I used to host a lot of guest mixes where a bunch of guest mixes, right, from Drum and Bass India. Shout out to those guys if you guys are watching in Bangalore. Then Mumbai folks, Sartek, a lot of other people. I mean, a lot of Delhi
How was
people as
a
well.
how was the Dilli wala treated there?
How is the Delhi treat? These guys love. I mean, it's the language
Really?
is music. Yeah, yeah, the language is music. You can't deny the fact that music
Perfect.
as a language works exactly like love. So, I mean, hands down, all mushy, all the cotton candies together. But I mean, the love for music binds this, and the entire stage was lit like that. And then the
Wonderful.
reception of the radio show was very very decent as well.
Okay.
We were streaming to Malaysia, we were streaming to Canada, we were streaming to North America as well as
Right.
Holland and bunch of other things. So live started from there. The whole live quote unquote scene started from there. But I wanted to
Okay.
evolve from there as well because radio shows were happening, but a lot of capping was happening as well because you know uh, radio shows happen to be um, on a concept where it is sort of it's a very complex concept where the artists would like to get discovered, and
Okay.
artists they would like to do a lot of other things. So from there I wanted to evolve this thing, so I wanted to share the
Mm-hmm.
revenue of people who would like to listen to sets again. So
Mm-hmm.
there from there came another platform, evolved from there, and then further on. So I wanted to start doing something that was very interactive. And having that productivity in a group is
Mm-hmm.
very essential. So sitting around doing something instead of texting each other across the table or texting somebody else in some other part of the world. I wanted me and my friends to have some sort of interesting, productive session together. So sitting around chatting is one thing. Of course, it is good. But doing something more, that was what we did, and so we started gaming. So combining music
Right.
that was already live, then gaming, and then came PUBG Mobile, which is now banned. But PUBG Mobile happened to be one of those restart restarts for us gamers,
Yeah.
from me
Yeah.
especially. So I used to play a lot of Counter Strike back in the day.
Okay.
Then NFS, as you said as well, you were playing NFS at the same time. Most Wanted, we used to do split screen Most Wanted at a friend's place,
Oh yeah.
and so many other
Of course,
things.
there was a lot of music
Oh
there.
yeah,
I mean,
so
a
the
lot of
music was
tracks in
also there.
the at the back end. Yeah.
Electronic music was also, yeah, so it was a good package of things, and then came Asphalt on mobile phones, and then so many other
Yes.
racing games, and GTA came on mobile phones as well, and then a
Right.
bunch of games came together. So all the music and the interactivity of the games came together, and I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
combine all of this, and then I started live streaming
Okay.
back in 2018,
Okay.
around March, if I'm not wrong. So I
Okay.
started doing that, and then it was the best thing ever that happened to me. I started forming a community which was so tightly knit. It is, I mean, a bunch of people who I started gaming with back in 2018 again,
Mm-hmm.
March first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all those people, those original gangsters, if you will, all of these are watching right now, and these guys would still be there, and you know, these guys still stick around. These guys have been supporting
Mm-hmm.
the community. These guys have been supporting the channel and the content at the same time. And with that
Okay.
support, we have grown from zero to what we are right now. So
Wow.
we did a lot of jumps from different platforms. We did Twitch as a platform. We started live streaming there. We started gaming there. A lot of interactivity there. Then we jumped to Facebook for the gaming live streams as the Facebook gaming platform evolved.
Right.
Then we did Mixer a little bit in between as well, which was a Microsoft platform, but sad demise happened on that platform as
Okay.
well. So, but we did a lot of things in between, and then we played PUBG Mobile's Star Challenge 2018 as well. So as soon as we got into the game, the tournament came around, and we were one of the semi-finalists for India. I mean, we were the
Okay.
semi-finalists for the Asian semi-finalists, and the entire team was so stoked. We were on an international platform right from the beginning, and ever since we've never backed down. We've been doing a lot of scrimming, and we have tried to rehash the approach to how the gaming comes around. So I
So that
that
just a question in between for a layman who is probably has stopped gaming, is not a 90s kids, is not a 90s kid, or is not probably into gaming and would like to go into it, understand what content creation is and how do we live stream. What are the short points you would like to give them, and what are the things you would like to
right.
tell the gamers out there? What are the tips you would want to give them? Probably
If you
because there are
want,
a lot of people who don't understand the language, right?
Mhm.
So, what is it that you would tell in basics?
So you want to start as a gamer.
Hmm.
I'll just put them in 4 points. Four is my number, so I'll put them
Right.
in 4 points. But if you want to start as a gamer, pick your phone, download your
Okay.
favorite game.
Hmm.
Almost all the favorite games are already there.
Hmm.
Uh, Start playing three,
Right.
and share it with your friends.
Right.
That's how you become a gamer. That's that because gaming is one platform. It is such a non-linear entertainment, and by non-linear, I mean you're not sitting in front of a screen and watching it. You're in it. You're literally in a virtual world, interacting with different virtual elements,
Okay.
and you're doing so many things. So which is why people enjoyed GTA as much as PUBG, because
Hmm.
they could emulate certain things that they can't do in real life. Nobody wants to steal a car, obviously. So, but they enjoyed doing that thing in GTA. So that was that. So similarly in PUBG, everybody wanted to be the last one standing. So and then
Yeah.
Call of Duty, a lot of people are still army army oriented, and a bunch of
Hmm.
people are like most of us are still army fans, right? So
Yeah.
given
Definitely.
so we are fans of the army folk, and that's how it is, and everybody wants to do that. So there's one platform that lets you emulate that thing. So that is that.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, as a gamer, you pick your phone because that's the
Hmm.
easiest available console ever right now
Hmm.
in today's
Hmm.
time. If you're doing that, pick your whatever console can be, laptop, mobile phone, or your PC. Do
Hmm.
start doing that. Download your favorite game. That would be the second one. Play it, and then share it with your friends. Once you
Okay.
start doing that, you'll understand where do you stand as a gamer particularly. And then there are certain things like single player games, but the multiplayer games. Pick which game you want to play. As soon as you play, and as soon as you share it with your friends, you'll
Hmm.
understand what do you want to do with that particular game, or you want to change or not. And
Yeah.
as a content creator, you need to understand what is your goal.
Okay.
So understanding that goal, that I mean, understanding that goal would be something that gives you a plan, a roadmap, or at least a gap that you have to build your roadmap on. As a
Okay.
content creator, I was already doing music. I wanted to combine a different visual experience at the same time, so I combined those two, and I wanted to end. I mean, I was already entertaining. I just wanted to expand the
Yeah.
horizon for this, so that's how I did that.
Wonderful.
On a different front, if you are already sharing your clips, if you're already sharing your recordings, you're already content creator. So record your gameplay for a content creator. If you want to get started, record your gameplay, and you start putting it out there. See how people around you react to it.
React to it. Okay.
Yeah. So second thing, take the
Hmm.
feedback. A lot of people will ignore it, and you have to essentially understand that people will ignore it,
Okay.
because gaming in India has been a taboo, honestly speaking.
Yes. Yes.
uh, as it's a big taboo. A lot of people think
Hmm.
that gaming will uh, you know sort of ruin your brain, do things, do bad things to you. Uh, I used to step out right before the PUBG was banned. So I used to step out and used to hear a lot of stuff. Like I'm talking about pre-COVID. So I used to hear a lot of aunties and uncles telling their children and grandchildren that tell him no. Why are you not telling him that PUBG खेलने से दिमाग फट जाता है? So that makes no sense, right? I mean, in fact, there are countries that are banking their economy upon gaming and esports right now. Canada is one of them.
Oh,
They have
that's a fact.
immigration laws. They have immigration laws for this. So,
Oh,
I mean, yeah, you can get a working visa, uh, also, and you have certain other aspects to this as well. And I think Belgium is another one. I'm not
but
sure.
because you think
Can-
because you're in it right now, do you think there is an actual future in gaming in
Yeah,
India? In India,
nobody thought
okay,
nobody thought there was a future with cricket back in the day,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it was exactly the same.
valid point. Yeah,
Yeah, nobody thought that. Then a lot
mm-hmm.
of people still don't support hockey as it's supposed to be as a national game. But
Mm-hmm.
combine the two, kabaddi is also one of them. Now we had kabaddi recently, pro kabaddi tournaments, if I'm not wrong. A lot of people
Yeah,
were a lot of big people, AAA celebrities were
mm-hmm.
already endorsing the kabaddi teams, and a lot of the other things were happening, right? So, given it is already there, the right push and the right grind would
Yeah,
take you to where you want to go. So, a lot of people talk about it. I've said this a bunch of times on my stream as well, and I'll say this again, that grind right.
okay,
8 घंटे ग्राइंड करने का, 8 घंटे गलत ग्राइंड करोगे तो गलत मसल मेमोरी हाथ पे बनेगी. मसल मेमोरी इज बेसिकली a concept where you start developing a reflex to a particular thing,
okay,
right? So say for example I'm looking at you right now, then
mm-hmm.
in game, and you're right in front of me, and somebody
Mm-hmm.
right behind me is shooting at me or throwing something at me,
Okay,
in a game, by the way. Quote unquote. So I have to turn around 180 degrees and I have to take the person down. So
yeah,
given the right reflex and the right settings and the right grind, I can do this in one go,
yeah,
and I can take the person down. But if the grind is not right, basically your
mm-hmm.
hand movement, your posture, your diet, I'm sorry, your diet, your hand movement, your posture, your hydration, your body fluids, your mental
Mm.
focus, the entire focus.
Balance.
If it's a,
Mm.
yeah, the mental balance, the mental game,
Mm-hmm.
basically. There's a whole another term on that, and a lot of other things factor in, and those those are the things that develop a good grind. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
grinding it, and by grinding I mean ग- अच्छा खेलो, थोड़ा खेलो, अच्छा खेलो, जिससे
Okay,
मसल मेमोरी ढंग की बने. और आपका अगर मसल मेमोरी ढंग की बनेगी तो आपके रिफ्लेक्सेस भी ढंग के बनेंगे. और आपके
yeah.
रिफ्लेक्सेस ढंग के बनेंगे, सो आपका जो रिएक्शन टाइम है वो 400 मिली सेकेंड, 800 मिली सेकेंड से फिर 200 मिली सेकेंड पे आएगा.
We have a
एंड
comment or FPS frame per seconds too.
फ्रेम्स per सेकेंड ऑब्वियसली. सो वो उस पे बहुत मैटर करता है.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, वो that is the technical part of things.
That's a technical
So आप
thing.
अगर सो आपका मशीन, अगर फोन है आपका है या कंसोल है आपका और आपका मशीन है, so
Mm-hmm.
all these things come together and then make you grind right at the same time. But if you so I started playing PUBG on high settings because I would love the details. A lot of people were telling me that lower down your settings and you can play on better frames and stuff. So I was not doing it. मेरे को नहीं खेलना, नहीं खेलना, मैं अड़ गया. एंड मैंने 30 फ्रेम्स per सेकंड पे खेलना शुरू किया था. 30 frames is basically a normal movie. Or if the
Yeah.
normal movie is like 24, 25 seconds, but what right now this is 30 frames per second.
Okay.
So इस इतने फ्रेम्स पे आपको मेरा हाथ ब्लर होता हुआ दिखेगा. बट
Mm.
अगर मैं 60 फ्रेम्स कर दूं इस पे तो वो बहुत स्मूथली काम करेगा. तो वो स्मूथ मूवमेंट, जितनी हाई फ्रेम्स उतनी ही स्मूथेस्ट मूवमेंट, और आप उतने में आप अपना सब्जेक्ट ट्रेस कर सकते हो. अगर आप शूटर गेम खेल रहे हो तो वैसे, अगर
Mm.
आप कार गेम्स खेल रहे हो तो वहाँ पर, आप टेकन जैसी गेम खेल रहे हो तो और अलग. तो सारी गेम्स को मिला के आपका बेसिक फिर भी सेम ही रहता है, that you have to grind, right, which is again on the physical level and on the mental level. And then on the
Yeah.
technical level, you need to have your gears properly. So
Okay.
for
So
that,
I'm gonna pause you in between. I'm really sorry. Just gonna pause you for a second. Where
sure,
can
sure.
people follow you, Siddharth? Where all are you right now? What are
I'm
the
very easy to
platforms?
find. I'm the most SEO'd one ever. So if you see, I mean,
Okay.
my name right there, XYDDHARTHA, it's Siddharth only.
Okay.
And you can find me anywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Twitch
Right.
is where I live stream, and YouTube is where I post my videos every day, both of
Okay.
them.
Okay.
And then Instagram is another one where I post a lot of discussions, a lot of conversations happen on my Instagram stories. And then
Right.
Twitter is also is one of those where I post a lot of chitter chatter and a lot of wholesome content. I would love to. I always love sharing, resharing more than I can share myself.
Wonderful.
So, so
So, guys, I
Siddharth
would
is
want you all to search for that name and please
Siddharth.
follow him on all the platforms. It will be amazing. Right, Siddharth? So
Oh,
that's
for
YouTube,
sure.
that's Facebook.
Everywhere,
Where
YouTube,
all?
Facebook,
Everywhere.
YouTube, everywhere, every single
Everywhere.
platform. The name is common everywhere.
Perfect. Perfect. Please
And
continue. Yes.
if I'm not
Yeah.
if I'm not replying, then it is somebody else. So you'll realize that
Okay.
essentially because I generally uh, interact with all the stories coming in and
Right.
all the all the the content flowing in. So that's that. Apart from
Okay.
this,
Please continue. Yeah.
yeah. So grinding right is one thing, and then you have to also understand as a content creator, you have to go from one place to the other. If
Mm-hmm.
you're currently you're a content creator who has no money, but you have resources to pull off your content, start doing it. Just
Mm-hmm.
start. If you don't want to, there are a bunch of other things besides content creation as well. So a gamer does not necessarily have to be a content creator all the time. There are a bunch of
Okay.
gamers who are also video editors for somebody else. I mean, you are a passive content creator, but you're an active video editor, right? So I mean, basically,
Right.
you're a gamer for sure. You're a gamer all in all. But on
Mm-hmm.
an active basis, you're a video game video editor for somebody else, XYZ, or yourself, and
Okay.
you're also a YouTube manager for somebody else, things like that. So there are a bunch of profiles: YouTube manager, Twitch moderator, community moderator, manager, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And take up those responsibilities, interact. Then there are a bunch of people who are gamers and who are supporters and subscribers. So if you don't want to create if you don't want to create content, start supporting the content and get involved. A bunch of people, me especially. So I mean, it generally happens that a lot of people will support you. They'll become friends. So
Yeah.
that is the best part of things, where you understand your early investors, your early supporters, your early uh, clients, if you will, or your early audience. So all these guys would essentially mean that you have supporters and you will have a tone that you have to address. For example, you you loved my GTA content when you were there on my live stream, right?
Yes.
So you were talking to me about that, and
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also playing Call of Duty, so I had to strike a balance, and that's how I did a bunch of live streams in between, where I would play GTA for my audience that is represented by you. Then there are a bunch of people who love my multiplayer content. No name what game
Mm-hmm.
is one of them. So he is also a very regular person on my stream at the same time, and he has been like as a seasonal moderator to the chat as well. Whenever somebody who has been hateful about content or who has been hateful about the community,
Okay.
he has moderated a bunch of instances as well. So he's been a very responsible person. I don't know his name, by the way, but he has been such a
Regular.
responsible regular interact participant of the community that I enjoy and I appreciate a person's company as well. So they turn into your friends at the same time. And those early people who have been very serious about your work,
Yeah.
uh, who have been very serious about your work, are the ones who would stick around. So, given those
Mm.
guys are going to stick around, you will eventually get them on board on and in a certain profile. And if you're developing it as a community, what place do they want, and what place can you fix them? That's
Right.
something that is your
Another
uh,
thing I wanted to ask
superpower.
you is, what are the, how much time do you think live streamers in gaming devote
Mhm.
in, during a day, and what is recommendable to, go
Anything,
live and create content?
as long as you're keeping hydrating yourself and you're keeping yourself healthy, eating
Hmm.
just fine. You can do
Okay.
whatever you feel like. I mean, if you're serious about this, go exercise, go stretch yourself. Don't let
Hmm.
your muscles loose. Uh, do things that you feel like. 3 hours
Okay.
is something that is most 3 to 4 hours is most optimum for people who would like to grind along with their um, with the
Initial
friends
journey. Hmm.
and in their initial journey as well. And also if they are going for it, uh, they're also working, I think, at the same time,
Yeah.
and they're doing a bunch of things in between. So yeah, 2 to 3 hours at least. But in those 2 to 3 hours, be focused on gaming if you want to branch out as a gamer. If you want to, I mean, your priority is set as pushing your gaming career more than your writing career or your
Yeah.
accountancy career or a bunch of other things,
Yeah.
then grind right accordingly so that one thing fits you. I mean, one thing fills your pocket, the other thing
Hmm.
fills your soul. So
Right.
the way
And the next
that's
question would be where I'd like to ask you what kind of setup is required initially for someone who's just starting? Is it necessary that the person should have all of those fancy things like those
no,
mics and stuff?
absolutely
What
not.
is required, and also what kind of games should they start with? What is recommended by you?
All right,
So that's
so
something I wanted to ask you. Yeah.
gears, the better, the bigger. I mean, the better as early. I mean, जितनी जल्दी यूज करना है, जितना अच्छा ही आपको चाहिए सेटअप, दैट इज ऑन यू,
Hmm.
बट यू डोंट रिक्वायर एनी पर्टिकुलर setup initially. Once
Okay.
you figure out what game you want to play.
Okay.
My journey as a PUBG mobile player started, so I had OnePlus 5, so I was able to play the game pretty decently.
Okay.
Uh, but then I wanted to evolve from PUBG Mobile, and then I wanted to switch to other games which were not compatible with my mobile phone. And I was
Okay.
essentially a PC gamer. I would rather play PC games than mobile games. So things were happening that way, and I invested in a whole I mean in the entire machinery that was focusing on mobile, so I mean, focusing on gaming and music at the same
Okay.
time, given the music. So
Okay.
combine those two. I figured out a configuration where I also do that for a bunch of other people as well on on demand basis. So
Okay.
if somebody comes up, say, I want to play this game or I want to play
Hmm.
that game, so I build them a PC. I build my PCs myself, so I build other people
Very
their PCs
nice.
at the same time. So that's something that kind of gives you the ability to uh, push the boundary
Stand out.
within your budget.
Hmm.
Yeah, push the boundary with your budget at the same. I mean, taking care of budget at the same time, while also understanding that you have to save something as well for the future. So that that is balance that you have to strike. But yeah, you don't need a particular gear to start. You have your phone. If you have a console, to start with the console at the same time. If you have your PC, laptop, or anything that you have that you can run a game on, there are a bunch of games that are the lower end compatible. Then there are a bunch of games that are the very high end compatible. I mean, the high end only. So pick your game. You'll
Okay.
you'll understand where you are, and then You do that. You start from there.
Perfect, perfect. So, is there a particular game you suggest for the beginners to start with, or you think it's just upon their selection?
Depend Depends on what kind of, again, as a gamer,
Like
as
current
just
times. Yeah.
you, if you want to evolve as a story mode gamer, then there is the very new game on the block called Genshin Impact. It is developed by, I think, Japanese or Chinese developers again,
Okay.
MiHoYo. And then there is Fortnite that has
Okay.
that has been very compatible with most of the devices out there,
Has been
and it
very
is
famous
cross.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Very famous.
give, given that is the compatibility between different devices, then it is cross-platform enabled.
Yeah.
Uh, go for Fortnite, I would suggest always, and use creator code Siddharth if you want to spend something in the item shop. Because
Okay.
so what we do is basically that's my code that is there when if somebody's spending in the Epic Game Store, which is the developer of Fortnite, or
Right.
um, you know if you want to spend something in this one, so you support the community at the same time. So just use the support to create a code. It is at the bottom right, and you start doing a lot of stuff as well. So a lot of emotes, a lot of skins, a lot of cosmetics that you can use to start playing. And hashtag
Yeah.
ad, by the way, I was supposed to do that, otherwise that's contractual. So uh, given this is one of those games where you can play on mobile phone, and other friend can play on PC, and
With a screen
third
recording and probably
screen recording,
something.
and otherwise as well. So mobile phones can also play with PCs and
Yeah.
consoles, and even iPads at the same time. So all the platforms are inclusive in this particular game, which is Fortnite.
Hmm.
So people can play this game very easily. And then CS was already out there.
Right.
One of the most intense, and the one of the biggest games in the history of first person shooter games. Then if you want to go
Hmm.
for story mode, there are a bunch of story modes on your mobile app, Android Play Store,
Yeah.
or App Store as well. Even Batman games are free. Then there is Injustice, then there is Tekken, then there is uh, NFS, Asphalt.
Right.
So many games. All of them are very much free to play.
I think
And
that's clear and perfect answer you've given for that. I think probably they can also get in touch with you personally to take suggestions, I'm sure.
oh, I keep beta testing things on my live stream as well. So I recently played this game called Raji, that is an
Okay.
ancient epic, and it is developed by it's an Indian ancient epic, where
Right.
it is the game that is developed by Indian developers at the same time, and it has Raji and Golu. Those are the two characters. The
Oh,
stories based around. And I recently played this thing, and I posted it on my YouTube at the same YouTube as well.
okay.
And it is kind of, it is an interesting game, and you can run it on your laptops, lower end laptops at the same
Okay.
time. Good
Wonderful.
games, bunch of games that are there already, and Ubisoft is releasing a couple of games which are free to play. Then there are
Mhm.
free games available on Epic Games all the time. Even GTA was free for. Did you get your copy of GTA? Free copy of GTA. Did you get it?
No.
You should have. Then there were
Okay.
a bunch of free copies like Watch Dogs 2. Then
Where
what are the
was
other?
that being?
Epic Game Store. Just
I have
download it
no
on your
idea.
laptop. You should
I somehow
check it.
lost. I somehow lost the updates for gaming since I've been into a lot of work.
You
So
Yeah, I
I
know, I
want to.
know.
I
I can do.
I would like to do it.
Yeah, so, I mean,
So that's where I wanted to come back. People who are
yeah.
actually coming into gaming,
Hmm.
they're trying to build their career. What is it
Hmm.
that they should expect? And how much time should they wait for after dedication? What kind of sponsors can they get? How can they actually think of earning through gaming? Is what I wanted to understand because outside India, I know what the scene is like. It's
Hmm.
amazing. It's actually booming.
Hmm.
There are people who have millions and millions of followers on whether it's
Right.
Facebook, whether it's YouTube, and they have been living on it. So, what is it that you think people who are the famous gamers right now? I mean, of course,
Right.
you are there in the league. You've entered the game, you've entered
Right.
the industry, and you have the kind of followers you need, and you're on the right path. But
Right.
if you would like to give some examples of the kind of gamers we have in India, and what are the ways to earn out of this, people would love it. It will be very useful.
Dep- Depending your career on this goes two ways. Either you go all in or you don't. I
Okay.
went all in. I switched entirely from being a fully salaried person to totally dependent on what I'm doing. And
Okay.
I did that while I was transitioning. So there was monetizing your content is something that is very essential. If you have the right support system,
Hmm.
I luckily built a support system while I was transitioning.
Okay.
So I was very lucky with that. It takes a little while to still get there. Break even is something that everybody wants to get to, where everybody was earning, say, 6-digit paycheck or a 5-digit paycheck, like that, right?
Yeah.
And to break even with that is very difficult when it comes to gaming, because everybody wants to become a gamer and wants to start earning through their content. But again,
Yeah.
as a gamer, as a content creator, earn, you can start, you can join a team of another content creator and do things, see how you can exchange value. And money is
Okay.
not always the same. Money is not always the same unifying factor. I mean, it is not the common denominator all the time. It has to be something else, and you have to figure out what can be the common denominator be. So if that is the thing, you transition from being just a gamer or XYZ professional,
Hmm.
and then you turn into a full-time content creator, like that. I started my professional journey as a copywriter. I started
Okay.
working in advertising, and then I was also a marketing communications consultant and a bunch of
Okay.
other things in between. But I wanted
Oh,
to but it was always the same thing. I'm a communications person. I
so you were a content
graduated.
writer, you were a DJ as well. Um, what else?
So, I was just making a little bit of music here and there. I was doing
Okay.
the and well, it is all the same thing. It's just a different branch of doing something, and
So
that
you've
was
got
writing
hold of what you
story.
want in life. You've got hold of what
Right.
is your passion. Yeah. That's a better thing.
Mm, So I could trace it. I could trace it thanks to uh, the ability to retrospect. I could trace a bunch of things that were connected. Music
Mm-hmm.
was also connected to writing, and my
Yeah.
writing was also connected to music at the same time. Especially, a lot of people were thinking that
Creativity.
creativity. So a lot of people were thinking that you're a DJ.
Yeah.
How are you a copywriter? So have you never heard of jingle writing? Have you? A bunch of things. And I have a no, I have a thing for music. I have a thing for sounds. I have a thing for tunes, rhythms. I was already singing back when I was in school, so I combined that with DJing, and then now I'm in writing. So that's the ladder. That's how it is. And I did a bunch of things. I have uh, done things that people might not have noticed, but later down the line, they will recognize what I'm doing, and only after a certain point where when a big platform will push this thing, or my name starts floating around. Only
Yeah.
then people will think that my brand has evolved. But for the people who are looking for something that has gone places,
Hmm.
they've already participated in the community, and they're part of the growth, like that. So yeah, so I understood what is happening,
Hmm.
and what my capabilities are, what I can connect with.
You analyzed things
I
around you.
analyzed I mapped my mind out. Basically, I am a writer at
Mhm.
the center, and by writing I mean I visualize things. It could be I can visualize an ad, and I can visualize a piece of video. I can visualize music. I can visualize game or a strategy or something
Good.
else. Combined all of them together, and I started creating content. And
Wonderful.
that's essentially what I wanted to do. And
Wonderful.
that's how you lay out your roadmap. Understand your weaknesses and map out your strengths.
Hmm.
See what can be filled where and what can be worked with. Sometimes your weaknesses also play well for you, so
Yeah.
do that. So go for it.
So, another thing I wanted to ask is, what are the kind of gamers who are probably known in India you think you are inspired with, or outside India you'd want
I
to
am
tell people you should
I am
follow apart from this because they have been my inspiration. You know?
right. So non-Indian streamers or content creators are also there, as well as Indian streamers and content creators. You should check out all of them.
Okay.
Support local if you will, and support
Okay.
global as well if you will, so that you are part of um the different communities. Stay involved, support if you will, and by supporting I don't mean follow, like, and share. It's not just that. put
Yeah.
put skin in the game. Be
Hmm.
the person, be
Be
the
a part
people
of it.
who are yeah, be a part of the growth. uh
Hmm.
and by growth I mean, like, share, and follow. Those are those are standard things, not non thing, not xyz things, but those are standard things to do. That's your attention. But if you are serious about something, put skin in the game. Put some
Hmm.
money out there. Cheer them. Don't donate or don't tip. I hate these words because somehow these are the words almost every streamer or content creator would be using. But
Yeah. Tip to
um,
support. Tip to support is what they say.
tip or donate or something like that. No, cheer them.
Hmm.
They are the
Yeah.
players. They're out there playing for you, trying to entertain you with different things that they can. Turning around, doing a 180 flick, or sniping somebody out of the air, not a lot of people can do. And if people are doing it, uh, cheer them basically. And then there are a bunch of gaming tournaments that are already happening. Go cheer them out there. Once they're back to their own channel, go cheer them with some gifted subscriptions to their community, or bits, or super chats, or stars on Facebook, super chats on YouTube, or just go use the dono link. But do it with the intention of cheering, not by charity. Because this is not charity. This is basically you cheering Sachin Tendulkar in the making. And a lot of
Yes.
people would
Just
be
like
taking offense.
appreciate any artist, basically.
Exactly. A lot of people, even in the music scene, a lot of people essentially would like a free entry.
Yeah.
This has been one of the biggest issues with the clubbing scene. But a lot of people do not understand that this goes to the artist at the same time. So you need to understand, and it's not even their fault. Not a lot of people can afford. Those people who are big fans of that particular DJ or an artist or a musician, they can't afford 5,000 worth of entry. So that's also a factor on event organizers part, where the costing and the pricing should be very friendly to the audience, like that. So similarly,
One.
you also support your gamer, your favorite gamer, or your favorite
Yes.
content creator. So gaming is a small part of content creation, but you have to grow from there. Essentially, I started as a different content creator, audio only. That was while I was doing it, but I clubbed it with video games at the same time, so I could do a bunch of things together. So a lot of people still don't get the gist. A lot of people, again, so I'm using this a lot. So they started calling me a DJ, and then as soon as I switched to live streams, they start calling me a gamer. But I'm still a creator, so I'm somewhere in between, like that. So yeah,
Wonderful, Siddharth.
support.
So one, I mean, everyone needs to support. Yes, I agree with you, and it's a very deep insight and a very deep message. And in the end, I would like to just ask you if you would like to give any message to all the Delhiites, all the Dillistanis who follow us, and
Right.
all the gamers out there. What is the message you would like to give? Because while you're on the right path, there are many who are looking for that path. So,
Stop
yeah,
stop the hate. Stop the hate. Unite yourselves. That's the biggest thing you can do. Biggest problem that comes around is there is so much hate based content out there that it kind of warps your mind, and that hate based content warping your mind is essentially ruining your next 10 steps that you're going to take in real life as well as in a game. So stop hating, start loving the content. Once you stop canceling out, you'll see how many good things you've already sprouted out. You've let them out of the chains, and those good things are essentially your own projections. So
Do you
stop
take
hating.
roasting as a part of it, or you take roasting as humor
I
when it
kind
comes?
I kind of I thought that that would be the question next. So I kind of saw that coming. So roasting is essentially a tool, but it is not all in all the content that is supposed to be. For example, Carrie Minati is one of those guys who pioneered the roasting. Then All India Bakchod guys, AIB guys, these guys also pioneered the whole roasting concept in different regards. Obviously, AIB did offline on a stage, and Carrie Minati did in a studio. Two different setups, but essentially the same method.
Mhm.
So they started roasting, but they know their audience. They knew their method, and they knew who they're roasting. If it's hating, like somewhere a lot of people think Carrie Minati curses a lot and he's hating on somebody, but he's not. I'm
Yeah.
not defending him, but I since I go through a lot of content every day, and essentially he's because he's one of the biggest YouTubers in India,
Yeah.
and he's the biggest YouTuber in India if I'm not wrong. So excuse me. So given this is, and he has been defining a lot of trends on YouTube, you
Hmm.
it, you're bound to read upon him. So he essentially roasts, but in a certain way, only to make people smile, laugh, whatever. But he's making sense. For example, he was talking about how XYZ Gali. Uh, I'm not going to use the Gali as I was told. I was not.
Yes.
So when Virat, he has this video. I think Virat Kohli ने XYZ की कर दी, right? So
Hmm.
अब वो XYZ की मैच की सॉरी विराट कोहली ने मैच की कर दी,
Hmm.
फिल इन द
Hmm.
ब्लैंक्स. सो
Hmm.
XYZ की कर दी मतलब इसका मतलब थोड़ी कि जाके उसके साथ जाके कुछ करा, नहीं.
Hmm.
So essentially it means that he blew it off. I mean, like
Yeah.
he either like he blew it, like completely trashed the match, or
Yeah.
he aced the match. Those are the two things. But and a lot of people start hating that content just because
Okay.
his language was a little crass. But it is not like that. Understand the whole artistic expression. Stop canceling each other out and respect as well. So roasting again, roasting की भी एक कला है. A lot of people don't draw that line. So मैं हम लोग एक दूसरे को बहुत रोस्ट करते हैं गेम खेलते हुए. तो एक दूसरे को खेलते खेलते हुए रोस्ट
I
करना
heard
बहुत
that.
मजा. Yeah, so you have, so you know.
Yeah.
So given that is already out there, it is essential to understand where to draw the line as a roast and as a hate based expression. सो वो इंटेंट समझ आता है. अब दोस्तों के बीच में पता है एक दूसरे को रोस्ट कर रहे हो, लेकिन एक थर्ड या फोर्थ पर्सन आता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल सब्सक्राइबर फ्रॉम माई ट्विच, and by subscriber I mean he has paid money on my channel. He's not just a follower, right? So he's
Oh,
serious about this, and then we
man.
start roasting him because him or her is XYZ, because we were just having fun
Yeah.
till a certain point the person enjoys, and then
Hmm.
he or she starts to take it very seriously and personally. तो वहां पे जब वो लाइन उसको नहीं समझ आया, तो हमारी गलती, क्योंकि हमारी
Yeah.
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उतनी है
Ah,
कि
you had to draw
उसको
the line.
समझाना. या
Hmm.
सो वी हैड टू ड्रॉ द लाइन एज एसेंशियली कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स.
Hmm.
ऑन द अदर हैंड, उसने इतना कंटेंट डिस्कवर नहीं किया, वो उसकी गलती नहीं है, उसका उसका अटेंशन स्पैन उतना है. So like that. So roasting as a concept is very much flawed in India because after a certain point, people started overdoing it. There's an overkill happening. So stop that for a bit. Let that let other types of content formats, uh, you know, come by. देन यू स्टार्ट रोस्टिंग अगेन तो मजा आता है. अब एक ही चीज को रगड़ रगड़ के एक ही फॉर्मेट को रगड़ के अगर आप करोगे तो आप बोर हो जाओगे खुद ही. आप कितनी बार एक ही चीज बार बार देख सकते हो, राइट? तो
True.
सिमिलरली रोस्ट को भी आप बार बार नहीं देख सकते और आपको हेट बेस्ड कंटेंट भी नहीं चाहिए. सर दर्द हो जाता है एक टाइम के बाद गाली सुन सुन के. तो ठीक है, जोक मारा, बेइज्जती करी, अच्छी बात.
That's
बट
why a lot of most search content on places like YouTube is comedy and funny videos. You see.
या yeah, but a lot of people. So like you were asking me who is my favorite content creator out there.
Yes.
There was this game, called Fall Guys,
Okay.
and then came around. It is crossplay enabled, I think, right now. I don't know. Well, one of the games that is family friendly, very very much family friendly, and everybody's playing it. So
Mhm.
given the kind of game it is, one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, in fact, even on YouTube, uh, couldn't get a single win, and everybody was making fun of him. But he, as essentially an entertainer and a content creator, was taking it very sportingly. He couldn't win one thing, and then just to get that one particular win,
Mm.
200,000 viewers concurrent were watching him on Twitch. I'm not even saying YouTube. I'm talking Twitch, which is an essentially a US and a Europe focused platform. Even from India, I was watching him, and I was watching him like 200,000 concurrent viewers. He those who were watching him get the first win. The official game developers tweeted to him saying congratulations, and then even Twitch, the team behind Twitch, the developers and the whole team, these guys made a montage congratulating him for his first win on a game like that. So take this thing sportingly like that, and start creating different kinds of content where there is a huge scope like that. So essentially, I mean,
Wonderful.
even you're like a talk show of sorts. So I don't see anybody doing gaming talk shows. I wanted to
Yeah.
do one, but my hands were tied, and my hands are still tied. Essentially, j- uh, with Gypsy and Hazel sometimes coming around a lot more often. So
See what happens is that on chat trap, like a show like this on Dillistan, we haven't
yeah,
set a particular topic on we want to talk about, right? We
right,
are connecting all Delhiites and probably neighboring cities who have been related to Delhi, who have been
right,
trying to do something in their life, and who are inspirational personalities and have been working on something which is probably very different or is something that
mhm,
they're being noticed about. So we are particularly picking up. I mean, yes, I'm appreciating you. मैं तारीफ कर रहा हूँ आपकी that yeah, you've been doing something which is out of the box, and probably not everyone has the kind of guts to go into this because there are a lot of pressure from the family, and there's a lot of pressure and a lot of comments coming around from family and friends saying कि यार ये क्या है वो क्या है. So I appreciate
mhm,
these kind of things, and that's the reason the kind of guests I have is very, very particular and selective. I'm not saying that you're not special, but yes, the people who come on this show are a little bit more special than what I have always said. कि मैं
right,
बोलता हूँ यार, but this is what I always say. So yes, everyone who is trying to do something, everyone is trying to do something or the other. वो तो है ही. Every Delhiite, every Indian is trying to do something or the other. But जब कोई कुछ करता है और me and my team start seeing that thing कि हाँ, this is something we can talk about and understand it. It will probably help others
right.
to take inspiration and work on their path of life. So yes, that is what we believe in, and where that's the concept of chat rap.
That's absolutely brilliant because what that's what exactly I'm saying right now. Even in India, I don't see any YouTuber or any organization talking about things that are essential. I saw Ritual's episode where you were talking about how a musician should start their journey.
Yes.
I was also in the chat saying it was a grind. because it is essentially a grind there at the same time. Any creative career has
Yeah,
to be a grind. You have to understand, you have to treat your aspects like a startup, yourself like a startup at the same time, and you
yeah,
have to understand that you might not be at the forefront of things, but even if you're at the back end of things, you have to be the best at it.
true.
So so if you are a person who manages a gamer's finances well, or if you're the one who manages gamers brand deals well, or if you're the one who can coach a gamer well, be that.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be at the forefront. Yes, it's one of the parts. I mean, live streams are one of your things at the same time, but you have to understand what you do best.
Mhm.
It could be coaching a team, it could be leading a team, you could be strategizing inside a game, or you could be, managing a team outside the game.
Well, do it,
Um,
do it wholeheartedly. Whatever you do is
yeah,
what you're
do
saying.
that, and do that in a way where you ace your thing and you push your envelope at the same time. For
Yeah.
example, Indian music scene has very few managers who get good deals from the record labels, and even in the gaming scene, a lot of people think that it is an influencer business. It is not just an influencer business, it is more than that. And essentially, if a gamer wants to earn, it means that they want to be esporty. They don't want to create content, they don't want to do anything, they want to create difference from them being a gamer, and they want to play it like an esports athlete. So
Yeah.
that's something that is the definition of it. Probably we'll talk about esports later, or maybe,
Definitely. We're a little short of time. We're running out of
yeah,
time, so we'll say a goodbye to everybody now. And thank you, Siddharth. Thank you so much for
lovely having
actually coming here. It
lovely to
was
be here.
lovely chatting with you. And please do give us your links of all platforms. We can probably put it in the description. However, it's
Sure thing.
quite easy. The name is there in the description right now. It's by Siddhartha,
Right,
right?
right.
Starts
Siddharth.
with X. Siddharth
Right.
starts with X, and that's how you can follow him anywhere on any platform. He's there on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere. So, guys, it's going to be very entertaining. Do support him. Uh, I'm not going to use the word donation, but yes, support him in any way, every way. Like his videos, share his videos. You're going to love them and appreciate what's being done by in the Indian community. Something different, something which probably aunties and uncles are going to say, ये क्या कर रहा है हमारा बच्चा? But there's someone who's going out of the box and actually doing something different. So I appreciate Siddharth. Thank you so much for coming on
Thanks
the
so much.
show. And
Thanks so much for having me here
yes,
once
I
again.
will be connecting with you very soon again. Thank you.
Sure. Take care.
Thank you. So guys, that was Siddharth. It was wonderful, wonderful talking to him on the Chat Trap Show. बहुत मजा आया आज. मजा आ गया बात करके उनसे. बहुत सारी चीजें सीखी. There's lot to learn more. Of course, डिटेल्स में जाने के लिए आपके पास और बहुत सारी चीजें, बहुत सारे टूल्स और बहुत सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं जहाँ पे आप और समझ सकते हैं गेमिंग को. बट द मेन पॉइंट इज कि क्या आपने एक प्रॉपर गेमर से बात करके क्या क्या सीखा, उसके एक्सपीरियंसेस क्या है, what are the experiences you have learned from Siddharth, and that's what matters. What was his journey? Where was his career? Probably you can relate to how he started. Probably you can relate to how he is trying to struggle. So yes, this is what we present on the Chat Rap Show, and we're going to be coming up with another very exciting guest next week on Saturday 7 p.m. So please stay tuned. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. अगर आपने वीडियो यहाँ तक देखी है तो I'm sure आपको ये वीडियो देखने में बहुत मजा आया होगा. That's why you're here. Please like our Facebook page. Please share the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As I always say, आप लोग देखते हैं but आके चले जाते हैं. But I want you all to subscribe the channel so that you all get notified. It's in your benefit. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I will be seeing you next week again. Thank you. Signing off, Vikram Singh Rabu.